Welcome back, America. In that last block, we were talking about all of the excitement about a new generation of conservatives, and we're lucky to have one of those members of that generation here with us right now from the great state of Florida. He hopes to be the next great congressman from that state. Scotty Moore is with us. Scotty, great to have you here.
Yes, I love being on here together with you, John and Amanda. Thank you for the opportunity. And remember, it's Scotty with a Y.
That's right, Scotty with a Y. That's easy to remember. You come from a state that I think a lot of people have envy of. People are fleeing there from New York and California. Companies are moving there. The Florida federalism experience, the idea that a state can live on its own, stand up to a big government. How exciting is it to be in that state at this moment?
It's transformational. And by the way, it's not just within the United States, but it's all around the world. People are talking about and how leadership matters. You know, I often talk about on the campaign trail, what if Governor DeSantis had lost and we had Andrew Gillum? Where would we be? We would look a lot like California and New York. And it just highlights how leadership matters. You know, I was at the budget first signing that Governor DeSantis signed, and they slashed taxes. They have $100 million plus surplus, and they're thriving with a huge surplus of what's happening. That's how you lead. It feels great to be in Florida, and we're welcoming more, by the way.
I love that. And I will say I don't recommend California politics for Florida. So I'm also glad that you guys voted in Governor Ron DeSantis. But I wanted to talk to you about, you've got your primary coming up. Money obviously is very important in politics. The last time we spoke, I think you had the most cash on hand among all of the Republican candidates vying for that nomination, for the Republican nomination for that seat. How's the campaign going?
Fantastic. We had Mark Meadows, Chief Meadows, came down here, down to Florida, and he supported and endorsed me. Mid-May, we had a fantastic event. We got a lot of momentum and energy. We've raised over $320,000 just in this little area. And by the way, I have well over $200,000 cash on hand. The next closest person, the next closest person to me has $15,000 cash on hand. So it's not even close. We're putting our eyes on Darren Soto, who's the incumbent. We got to flip the seat from blue to red. He votes 100% of the time with Nancy Pelosi. And that's why it matters so much. We got to take back this House, Amanda. We have to fire Nancy Pelosi, and we have got to seriously save America.
Yeah, no, the country is counting on that. I look at this moment, and it feels so much like the summer of 1994. One of the things that's most exciting about it is Republicans always are best, conservatives are best when they're producing new ideas, fresh ideas on how to address what America wants. You've got this formation of a contract with America. It's going to be called the Commitment with America, coming out from Speaker McCarthy, Leader McCarthy, soon to be Speaker McCarthy, I guess. But ideas like shrinking the government. Last week, the Republican Study Committee had a plan to actually shrink Washington for the first time in 30 years. Your thoughts on the idea war and how conservatives are winning it right now?
Yeah, well, we need to actions speak louder than words. And so there's a lot of talk, but we also know that not all candidates and even not all members of the House are alike, even if they have an R by their name. And so what we really need is America First leadership that's going to vote to help save America right now. And so, yes, we absolutely need that. But what we need are people to follow through and be strong. And even, listen, my daughters are 14 and 11. And I'm worried about their future as Americans, but even my future grandkids that aren't even born yet. What are we willing to do today, the hard decisions, and not just talk about it and not just kind of have campaign promises, but what are we willing to do? President Trump did a lot. A lot of them are critical of President Trump. We got a lot of rhinos. We need strong leadership. Leadership matters.
It does.
And speaking of President Trump, having that stamp of approval from Mark Meadows is amazing, but is there another endorsement that you're hoping to get fairly soon?
Well, I got to tell you, we've been talking a lot to a lot of people and working. I've been consistent from the beginning of America First. Listen, right here, I even put a Trump Republican solid because I believe in the policies of putting America first, and that's what we need. And so I am ready and willing to receive his call. I would sure be honored if President Trump would. And so if you can help me out with that, Amanda, or maybe you, John, I would sure be willing to connect with the president. Absolutely.
Pretty sure he makes up his own mind on these things. Just ask a guy in Alabama I know. How about that?
Yes, he does.
Scotty, I want to ask you about the pocketbook issues, because right now Democrats are talking about January 6th. Americans figured out what happened January 6th long ago. But record inflation, record gas prices, a declining stock market, which, by the way, is wiping out people's retirement savings. This is the pocketbook issue in a long time. What are you hearing from Florida citizens?
Yeah, well, it's everyday things. It's gasoline. I mean, I myself am feeling it. I'm driving everywhere, and gas just keeps rising up. What about the cost of living, and what are they willing to do about it? What about shortages in the supermarkets and baby formula? You know, we have American babies who are not able to find food. What about spending $40 billion to help others and not even take care of Americans? What about printing unlimited money to get us into this mess and not have any plan to do about it? What about not sealing the borders? What about not being energy sufficient and we undo it ourselves? We have got a leadership issue right now. And yeah, the pocketbook is where people are feeling. I just talked to a guy at the gas station who said he's changing his vote because of this very issue.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of compilation videos of people talking about how they voted for Biden, but now with gas prices, they're like, that's literally the only reason I needed to regret my vote. So I think a lot of people have a different outlook on things going into midterms. But Scotty, tell everybody where they can find your website, find out more information about
Absolutely.
you and support you.
So ScottyMooreForCongress.com, Scotty with the Y. We need your help, everybody. Join me. Please be a part of this. Tell your friends.
Yeah, such an important thing. We're watching this race closely. It's one of the bellwethers for 2022. So, Scotty, great to have you with us today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the honor. I look forward to joining you more often.
We like that. You'll be a congressman then, hopefully.
Yes, sir.